I'm Sonia Schaefer with Simply Charlotte Mason. Geography in a Charlotte Mason education is not just giving your student a list of gross national products or capital cities to memorize. Charlotte's vision for a geography lesson is that it should offer your students an opportunity to connect with fellow human beings who live in a different part of the world. Geography lessons should take your students there. Here's how to accomplish that. You need two things to teach geography: maps and living narratives about the regions that you're studying. The maps should be detailed enough for your students to explore the nooks and crannies of the region. And the narratives should contain enough description that your students can picture that region in their imaginations as they read about it. Maps and living narratives, that's what you need. Now, how do you use them? The first step in a Charlotte Mason geography lesson is the map work. This part of the lesson helps your students form their own mental map of the region. And it's done by using guided map questions. Let's say you're studying Europe, and for this lesson you're going to zoom into Southern Europe. All right, give your students a map of Southern Europe, and then guide their focus as they look at it using questions such as, what body of water lies between Greece and Turkey? What is the name of the hand-shaped peninsula off southern Greece? And by the way, this is a great way to naturally learn geographical terms. If your students don't know what a peninsula is, here's an opportunity to define it in context. You might ask, what countries lie to the north of Greece? So as you move the spotlight to different parts of Southern Europe, or whatever your selected region is, you guide your students to look closely and carefully and to form their own mental maps, which they can then visualize as you read about that area, which is the next step. Read a living narrative about the region that you just explored on the map. Make sure the reading is a vivid description that your students can picture in their mind's eye. It should include those interesting details that all of us are curious about. What's the weather like? What does the landscape look like? What do they eat? What holidays do they celebrate? What does the language sound like? What do they do during the day? What's their schedule like? And what's similar and different from our own experiences? The more of the 5 senses that you can include in that description, the more vivid it will be, and the more it will make that region of the earth come alive in your students' imaginations. If you can get a description from a person who actually lives in that region, that's golden. As you read, you want your students to feel as if you are taking them there. That's the goal. Then, as with any reading, ask your students to tell back what they remember about what was read, to narrate. Younger students in grades 1 through 3 should narrate orally. Students who are comfortable reading and writing at a 4th grade level can be asked to narrate either orally or in writing. Those are the steps to a geography lesson. Explore the map to form that mental picture, then read a vivid description of the region and narrate what you learned about it. There are several ways to level up or level down those steps to best fit your students. One way is to adjust the length of the reading before you ask for a narration. You can break up a reading into shorter sections for younger students or for those of any age who need that kind of scaffolding. Read a portion, then ask your student to narrate that section. Then read another portion and ask for a narration of that. You can adjust the number and length of the portions as your student grows in the habit of attention. You can also level the map questions up or down. Give younger students, in grades 1 through 4, just a handful of questions and do that map exploration together. Make it a team effort to discover the answers to these guiding questions. Students in grades 5 and up can be given more map questions. And you can level up again in this way. Pause after you finish the map questions to give your student a chance to get that map locked solidly in his memory. Then put the map away and go through the same questions again and see how many of them your student can answer by referencing that mental map. It's a great challenge. And it will help your students be able to picture any region of the world as it is mentioned in life, whether in a news story or just in a conversation. Another way to level up or down is by asking your students to recreate maps as part of their narration. A younger student can arrange different colored beads on a blank outline map. For example, she might put blue in place to indicate where the bodies of water are, or lay down a line of brown beads to show a mountain range. Older students can label a blank outline map, writing in the names of the countries and rivers, mountains, and seas. And you can level things up again by giving your oldest students a blank sheet of paper and challenging them to sketch a map of the region and label it. Your high school students can also delve more deeply into the history and political aspects of the regions that you're studying. I'm excited that our new geography curriculum is designed around these principles, and it includes all of the options that I just mentioned. Check the description for a link to learn more. We can't all travel the world in person, but we can make sure that our geography lessons take our students there through guided map exploration and vivid, living descriptions of this beautiful earth. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.